Hello everyone and welcome to Hero RC. I'm Robert, and today you can see I've still got the Gen 9 in the picture. Tires are all dried, but I still want to put lettering. I want to cover all the lettering on the tires because they look good on this vehicle here. I don't do it on all of them. So once I get that done, it'll go back up on the shelf. But I do want to try this one over the expansion that I put on my course out there, the trail course, and see how it does, because it has small bumpers on it, you know, so the entrance and the exit should work on that, and the length of it should be fine. So I want to try that and see how it does. My last video I did it with the Ecto. The Ecto had a little problem, nothing that I didn't expect, because it's almost vertical going up over that section of the course. But I also have the there I go with the again, my Track 6 Mercedes, and you can see I got all the guys loaded up in it, and they are ready to ride. But you know, I checked out the winch today to see if it worked or not, and this is the switch to it here, and I've got it pretty tight there. Whoa, as you can see, it does. Are we getting that? Yeah. I don't like this switch because it's real soft, real touchy, and it's real easy to go into reverse and forward, and missing the stop part of it. And I think Mr. T has a dislocated shoulder here. We're gonna have to fix that. All right, Mr. T, you see how you're looking at me? It's trying to help you out, bro. It's all good. It came back out, but it's where he could reach the steering wheel anyway. All right, bro, put the drink down. Now you can have your drink, because you know what? We're on private property, so if you want to drink and drive, that's fine, but you're responsible for your own accidents if something happens to you. So I hope you got your insurance paid up. And everybody's strapped in with my homemade seat belts here, and they're going to be red to represent Mr. T and his colors. But what I don't understand is the I think the Rock wants a brew over there. I got to find him a brew somewhere. But what I don't understand is the scale situation. You know what I mean? You've got 110 scale vehicle, and these guys here are, well, they don't see the guy, the figures don't go as scale. They just do them by inches, and 7 inches fits pretty good in the vehicle. But the ladies, they're I mean, of course they're going to be shorter, so they would fit better in this vehicle. But this vehicle belongs to Mr. T. It's his ride, no doubt. The Rock has his vehicle, and so does John Cena. John Cena has the coat, the Red Cat coat. That's his. So, without further ado, I'm going to get these guys out here, and we're going to do a little quick trail run. So I will see you on the flip side. Alright, here we are back on the flip side here at Hero RC. And today, like I told you before, I've got the Track 6 Mercedes out. And we're going to take it on a trail run around the yard. And then we're going to go through the obstacle course, or the trail course, and see how it does. Here we go. Down the stairs like we always go. All the vehicles. Thought I turned the volume down on that motor simulator, but apparently I didn't. Good articulation. This vehicle is heavy. I will say that. way, this is my little setup that I have. This is my leaf sucker. I mean, it sucks up all the leaves. I hook up a Works 2-in-1 blower vacuum, and then I've got my weed killer there. Everything I need on here. I just pull it around and take care of my business. You got to be creative on a place like this when you're doing everything by yourself. But here we go. Motor simulator is very loud. I want to see if we can't turn that down a little bit. Uno momento. Alright, I think that got it. Let's see how she sounds now. Much better. And I also forgot to mention that I do have a lift kit on this. So it's sitting a little higher than it should be, but with all the weight on this vehicle, it's hard to tell. Let's see how it does over this little course here. Something I just kind of set up, and like I said, it's running the original electronics, and I don't have it set on crawl mode, which I probably need to do that too. It might be, because it's auto quick reverse and it stops, so it might already be. I don't know if you have to set that every time you turn the vehicle on, and see how it does over this rock pile. Running the Rocks tires on it. Kind of slipping to the driver's side there a little bit. Like I say, this vehicle is pretty heavy. I didn't put it on the scale. I'm not sure how much it weighs. At least 15 pounds. I brought an extra battery because the battery that I have in it now, I had it in the Ecto last night, so started out good over the rock pile. It even kind of stalled. Just too much weight, I guess. Alright, let's keep it moving. Oh! And we turned over. Uno momento. Boy, I didn't see that coming. Alright, here we go. And this one has the TQI modulation, or chip in it, so I probably need to go in and adjust some things. This is first gear. I'm going to test the distance on it. We're probably about, I don't know, maybe 100 feet from the gate. Got the diffs off. We're in second gear. Nice looking vehicle. I don't have the lights on there. They got drifted out of a screen there. They look so small on video, but they are some big. These are some huge vehicles, man. I'm telling you. You got the Rock and they're cruising it. sure what that wire is hanging down, but it's not stopping the vehicle, so we're not gonna even worry about it. You can kind of tell that it has a lift kit on it. It's kind of sitting kind of high. Put it back in first gear. And we'll cruise it across the patio. It's got a whine to it too. I don't know what that whine comes from. That's something I'm gonna have to figure out eventually. I want to say it's the drive shaft. Maybe if I go metal, because it's probably plastic to metal, which is causing that noise. So if I go all metal and grease it up pretty good, it would probably stop. But this is an awesome vehicle here, boy. Nice. I can already tell it's a video I want to go back and watch. And here we are entering Foxtrot Speedway, future course of Foxtrot Speedway. Future site of Foxtrot Speedway, I should say. When I get done with it, there will be no green out here, none whatsoever. I mean, it's all kind of fading anyway. You can see where I trimmed the tree there, and I left droppings on the ground there. I'll go back and pick those up later. I've been doing it all day, so I got to the point to where I was just cutting and leaving them on the ground. Just getting, my main goal was to get the trees trimmed. I'll come back another day and pick up the droppings. You know, like I say, at my age, and tomorrow's my birthday, 64. And I didn't even think about it until my mom reminded me today. I was talking to her today, because my brother, my youngest brother, the baby of the family actually, hadn't seen him in about 15 years. He showed up. So I'm gonna go over and hang out with them tomorrow on my last day off of work, after being off for a week, which I enjoyed it. Not thoroughly, but I enjoyed it. Being off and getting some things done, you know, like getting trees trimmed and getting some stuff done around my property here. But yeah, this is the future course of Foxtrot Speedway. And there's, from the fence here to up there at the end, is probably a good 120 feet, 130 feet maybe. Enough room for me to do some speed runs. And as you can see, I've got tree droppings all on the ground. I'll get all that stuff up on my next day off. Day at a time, baby. Can't get in a rush. I mean, I did quite a bit today, and I counted rose bushes and trees. I mean, I did a math add up, and you can see trimmings off of that tree. And I've got, between rose bushes and trees, I've got 30 plus. 30 plus easy. But it's okay. I mean, I wasn't thinking about it when I put them in. I was thinking about landscaping and how they would look all bloomed up in the springtime. I didn't think about having to trim and pick up leaves and all of that. But it's all good. You know, my God is a great God. He plans it out for me. Even though I'm not thinking straight, He plans it out for me. You know, so when I retire, trimming these trees and everything, it'll just be something to do to keep me active. You know, not laying up in bed or sitting in front of a TV, not doing anything. I'll be out here in my yard, outside with nature, having a good time. You know, it'll all be a good time to me. Because I'm used to working. And, you know, when I retire, this will be just like a little job to me. You know? And the payment will be the uh, after effect of me, what I'm doing, you know. See, I got all those trimmed up, looking pretty and nice. Trees over there that I trimmed up today, you know. And I decided with my crepe myrtles, that one right there in the frame is a crepe myrtle. That's a crepe myrtle there. The best way to keep the birds and things from nesting in them, look at power over that stuff like it ain't nothing, is to cut them shallow, or cut them, you know, as close to the top as you can. That way, you know, my way of thinking anyway, the birds won't feel safe because there's not a lot of foliage to keep them covered. But yeah, busy day today. I still had to get me a crawl in. Still had to get a crawl in here at Hero RC, baby. We're in low gear. We're just cruising across the property here. You can see all of this stuff here. I need to put more rocks over it to cover up the landscaping divider. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm not sure what you call it. And I had this for my dog, you know, to keep warm in the summer, cool in the summertime, but it got a hole in it, so it's going to the dump. And that's another thing, I gotta make a trip to the dump. Champ, no you don't. Leave it alone. No. No. Look at him. No. Sitting there like a predator, ready to attack. And look at that. That's his canvas that I put over around his pen because he's facing the west. So when the sun goes down in the summertime, it's pretty hot. So I got to change all of that. And then I got to put the new cover on the roof there. And like I mentioned in my other video, I'm going to go metal. Because this is every 3 months. I got to change this out. And then there's another tree I trimmed. And there's trees over there that I trimmed. That tree on the far side is a tree, one of the first trees we put in when we moved out here 8 years ago. That is an oak. So it's a slow growing tree, but once it gets to its potential, it should be about, I think it said 50 feet tall, something like that. It's supposed to be a big tree. So it took it a couple years to grab hold, but when it finally did, and it's really doing this thing. So I got it trimmed down, and then those are willows. That one there, the first tree, and then the one on the far side, the biggest tree on the far side there, that's a willow, and then the tree in front of it, that's a crepe myrtle. And then this little one sitting here by the car, that's a crepe myrtle. And then that's a crepe myrtle. And then that tree there, that's a berry tree, a blueberry tree. I didn't know what that was, because I've always been a guy that planted plants in pots because I love color. You know, I love flowers and all of that. And somehow a berry got into that pot, and that tree started to grow in a pot. So I took it out of the pot and put it in the ground, and that's what it turned out to be. The tree next to it, I'm not even sure what that tree is, but it turned up in a pot, one of my pots. And so I put it in the ground, bam, look at that. And this tree here, same tree as that tree over there. Turned up in my pot, and I put it in the ground, and look at it. That tree there, the same. Put it in a pot. I mean, it popped up in one of my flower pots, and bam, put it in the ground. Look at it. That's about, gosh, 15 feet tall. And then over here, same thing. Popped up in my pot, put it in the ground. I wish I had put these in the front yard, because for some reason, haven't had good luck with other than the rose bushes, the trees haven't popped up like they should. And then that's another crepe myrtle there around my course. And then there, the little tree there, that's another tree. But that tree there I planted, that tree there popped up in my pot. And then the tree there closest to the house, the tall one, that popped up in a pot. So I put it in the ground and man, it just took off. So, you know, nature is crazy. I don't understand it, but I love it. Crepe myrtle there, I bought those, put them in the ground about 8 years ago. Crepe myrtle. And I put them down as for shade for my dogs. And you know, that pen there is bare because I had to put one down last year. She was about 11 years old and she broke her hip. Actually, both hips. And the vet said there was nothing they could do. So we put her down, and she was a beautiful German Shepherd. Loving, caring, and very protective. She did not like other animals on this property. And then you know Champ, crazy boy. But back to the run here. And there I have a pile of leaves I gotta pick up. So we're gonna leave here and go to the course and see how this puppy does on the course. Now that you know how I spent my day, not that anybody cares, but I thought I'd share anyway. And then there's droppings I gotta pick up. And then also, without showing my license plates, that is a cart full of trimmings that need to go to the dump. And speaking of the dump, I go to the dump all the time. I know at least 2 or 3 times a year, and it seems like every time I go, they go up. You know, that's just the way it is. And especially this year, people have had reasons to go up twice this year. Not just once, but twice this year, because of the tariffs and everything that goes on. But you know, I'm not a gambling man, but it seems like our politicians are, and I have no choice but to go with the flow. So I'm hoping that the tariff thing works and people kick in, which it doesn't seem like they are going to, and make things go down. You got to be optimistic, especially in these days, because you really don't have a choice. You know, you don't have a choice. They run the country, and whatever they say goes. And we just have to deal with it. The only thing I ask for from my God is strength. Keep me healthy, mentally and physically, and give me strength. So without all of that said, let's get to the fun part of this video. We got the track 6, getting ready to enter the Foxtrot Trail Course. And let's see how she does. And she is in I have no differentials on. So she is strictly straight driving with no dips on. And this one, you know, I got the other track 6 since I put the bumpers and everything on it, and fenders, not the bumpers, but fenders. It is going to be strictly a towing vehicle. But let's see how this puppy does. I don't want to turn the diffs on yet. I want to see how far I could go before I turn the diffs on. And I don't like the herky-jerky. And I said that I would never buy a Fusion Pro. For this one, I just might. I just might spend the money and go ahead and get one. But so far, showing power. It's got the original electronics in it from Trax, doing its thing. And you kind of during the day now, you can see how I've got everything set up. My poles and everything. I think I showed that in my last video. But this puppy is doing his thing. Another one of my puppies. And you have to admit, that is a damn good looking vehicle. Set up for Mr. T. Got the star rims on it from Injora, 2.2 B-locks, and then it's got the 1.9s wrapped around it. Doing their thing. And like I said, those tires from Rock Tire have a lot of rubber. A lot of rubber. And they have not failed me yet. They have not made me want to switch to anything else. Alright, here comes the real challenge here, folks. I don't know if the length of this vehicle might be too long to get over this. We'll try it once and see what happens, because I don't want to flip it with the guys in it. Alright, here. Oh, well, not yet. Not yet. And I don't have any weights down low, which is something I'm going to do eventually. But so far, the power of that motor is taking care of business. Look at that. No diffs. You remember, no differentials on. Look at that. Look at that. So far, looking good. Here, we might have to turn some diffs on. We're going to flip the diffs on and see what happens. Alright, she's starting to bounce a little bit. And I got all diffs on. All the differentials are on. And it's done dropped down into that little split there. So we're going to back up a little bit. Okay. And this is the original electronics in it. And it's kind of bottomed out right there by the rear vehicle. But it's still pulling. Got the body scraping. Oh, amazing. Look at that. Wow. Track 6 Mercedes is an awesome vehicle. Wow. But you know, I always have to go back a second time to make sure it's not it's luck or a fluke, because you know, part of it could be driver error. I'm not talking about Mr. T, I'm talking about me. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna try this again. Just the power of that motor, man, it just bullied its way through. I'm impressed. Let's see if we can get back over to Bedrock Bridge and do it again. Doing it twice makes it nice. You have no excuses. So I'm going to turn all the diffs off. And we're just going to creep without the differentials on. I mean, that's just pure power. And that's one thing I like about this vehicle, because I've had it at least going on 3 years, I know at least. And that's what I liked about it when I first got it, was the power that it has. And I wish I had a video that RTR. And you can tell the diffs aren't on, because once it meets resistance, it stops. So we're going to turn the fronts on just to get over that hump there. Look at that. Look at that. Just with the fronts on. Alright, just to get up over that hump, we may have to turn the rear on, but let's see. I like the Titan motors. It's just that they're not, they don't have that fusion quality in them. But man, look at that. And that's just the front dragging it up. I'm going to put that motor to the test, because I'm going to put a fusion in it eventually anyway. Because now that I see what the potential of this vehicle is, trying to get a good angle here. Maybe we need to back up a little bit more. a better angle. I'm tempted to turn the rear diffs on. I am really tempted. Because like I said, this battery in it, it's a 2S. And I used it last night in the Ektar. So, yeah. Alright, we're going to go ahead and turn the rear diffs on. See if we can go ahead and get up over this. There we go. What we got to do is get a better angle. So let's get a better angle. And I really don't need all the diffs on for this, but they're on. Oh. Should be able to get a good angle. The steering radius isn't all great anything. And I do think the battery is getting a little low. I've got another one in my pocket here, just in case. Look at that beast. All diffs are on. 2S battery. Alright, we're gonna back it up a little bit. I got a good angle now. I need to fix it. Oh my goodness. I need to fix it to where I can put a 3S in it. Because Crawler Canyon said, you know, if you're gonna run a LiPo, and if your vehicle will take 3S, why not run a 3S? Trying to get traction here. Yeah, it's right in the middle. Okay. Let's back this puppy up. If we can. But I don't think we can. I think we've got in a pickle here. May need the hand of God on this one. And I'm going to chalk this one up to bad driving. It's not the vehicle. Just don't have the power for one thing. You need that 3S in it. If it had the 3S, I think it would do it. We have just locked out there. Uh-oh. We lost a tire over there. Look at that. Maybe that's part of the problem. And now you can get a good view of the disc that's on there, the brake disc that's on it. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna see if I can find the screw, and if not, we'll go in the studio and get a replacement. So maybe that's part of the problem, and I'm gonna leave it just the way it is, just to see if that was the issue. So I will be back with you in a few. Okay, I've replaced the screw in it, or the tire screw, and the pin fell out. Thank God I found it, but I couldn't find the screw that holds the tire on, the bolt that holds the tire on. So I had to go in and get another one of those. And I've learned today that you need to carry, even though you're in your yard, you need to carry extra stuff. And it's mainly stuff like tire stuff. Usually that's the problem that I've had with a lot. Tire stuff and batteries. That's the problem I've had with a lot of stuff. But let's see what happens. I think she is stuck. Definitely stuck. Okay, we're going to give this the hand of God, and we're going to start at a different angle. Okay, here we go. Different angle. And I also forgot to mention that I've got magnet mounts in the back, and then I've got the post hookups or mounts in the front. Drag brake's doing pretty good. See, with the Fusion, I wouldn't have any problem getting up over this. Okay, all right, there we go. That tells me, even though it was hard to get over, that it can do it. That was driver error there, definitely. And I'm going to say the wheelbase on this one is just too long to go over the extension part of my course. So we're going to go around the back part, the black pot turn. And it's getting dark fast out here. There's just not enough hours, minutes, or seconds in the day. That's for me anyway. And it's got a nice servo in it, but that servo, it could be the battery though. Could be the battery. I'm not gonna blame it on the servo just yet. All right, baby. Do your thing. It's not gonna make that wide turn because the turning radius on this thing is not that great. Yeah, even the servo. Servo just doesn't have enough power to. The motor is awesome though, but the servo is pretty weak. I thought that was a pretty good servo, but apparently it's not. And then the turning radius on this thing just sucks. And that's another thing I dislike about Traxxas electronics. You can't, unless you go TQI, which I should have did before I came out here. But then it might be the servo. It's just hard to say. Hard to say. Because when there's not a lot of resistance, that servo seems to do okay. But you have to admit, this is an awesome vehicle. Awesome. And good looking. Look at the articulation there. Look at that. It could probably. And I got the diffs on too. Is it catching on anything there? I think the pumpkin is catching there. It was a bad line. Take it further over this way, and hopefully that back tire on the driver's side will grab that brick and lift it on up over. Yeah, there we go. You know, this being a long vehicle, it's kind of hard to get it just right over, you know, these diff catcher obstacles, but I'm impressed. I am impressed. It's doing a damn good job. Perfect right there. Now let's see if we can get it to where the pumpkin doesn't grab. And battery seems to be holding up pretty good. Perfect. Perfect line. That was a perfect line. Perfect line. Now if that had right there, I'm going to say desert lizards. If it had desert lizards on it, that tire would be touching the ground. But it doesn't need it out here. Yeah, I love it. Awesome. Freaking awesome. The power in this thing is amazing. And it's 2S battery. If it was 3S, it would just be killing this course. And the side angles coming around this puppy, even though it looks like it's narrow enough to go right through it, but I like to see the articulation. And as you can see, the rock crawler lights are on. I don't have the headlights on. I disconnected them because I didn't think it would get dark this fast. You see that turning radius. Now see, once it resistance gets off of it, that turning radius gets better. So I want to blame that on the battery or the servo. More likely the battery. Alright, we're going to swing around this tree here. Another one of my trim trees I did today. Look at that. See droppings on the ground there. Let's see how it does over Shovel Bridge. I forgot how awesome this vehicle is. Another one of my bad vehicles in my fleet. That's amazing. Oh! As soon as I brag about it, bam, she falls over. Uno momento. Boy, I tell you what, just lifting that thing up, it's heavy. That's a heavy vehicle. Alright, we're going to try Pride Rock again. I need to put an extension on this one. For some reason, the reach on Traxxas transmitters, they're not all the same. Oh, I see the light flashing on this one, so the batteries are getting low. So I may have to change the batteries in this one before this run is over. Alright, don't you drift to that side. Come on back over here. You want to turn over again. Thank God. Oh my gosh. And you know what? We're going to try it again. Uno momento. And the reason why we're going to try it again, because I'm going to say if it's driver error. Not Mr. T's, but mine. So let's try this again. Now, if we don't make it this time, we're going to call it quits. But everybody's strapped in pretty good. I think. Nobody moved around. Sima looked like, John looked like he's a little nervous there, but I think it's going to be okay. Alright, let's try this again. Probably need to stay further to the passenger side. Okay. So I know it can do it. Alright, so he's starting to drift over to that driver's side again. Power of this motor is amazing. It's impressing the crap out of me. With all this weight. Ah! Okay. Let's back up. I think I came too far to the driver's side. Come on, baby. I know you can do this. tires are gripping like they should. It just has to be perfectly straight. Alright, that's where we run into problems, when it starts to center itself off. Rear part isn't all the way where it's supposed to be. Let's see if we can do this. Oh my goodness. Guess what? We're gonna try it again. Uno momento. I just have to have it centered just right. And then the weight of the vehicle causes it to slide. I already know what it is. But I know it, I think it can do it. Yeah, and plus the battery said just died on me. Alright. That's probably part of the problem too. Let's put a new battery in it. Hold on. See you on the flip side. Alright, here we are back on the flip side. Lights on. New battery. I wanted to say that everybody was okay, but when I took the top off, the rock was laying in the back there under the bed of the truck. So we might have to hurry up and get him to the hospital. Maybe not. He's a tough guy. He can handle it. Alright, here we go. One more time. This is the last time, guys, I swear. I'm not gonna blame it on the on Mr. T's driving. It's my driving. See, I knew it could do it. And I don't think it was just my driving. I think the battery was weak too. But since it's dark out, well, I'm not going to turn the lights on, the headlights on, because that'll blind me a little bit. But it did it. No problem. Nice. Very nice. Alright, let's check the drag brake in this thing. Oh! That is nice for Traxxas. Alright, John Cena, you can put your arm down now. It's okay. Alright. We're going to go with Pride Rock. I want to see if it can do Pride Rock. We're living dangerously tonight. Got a new battery in it. Got the rock back strapped in. Let's see what happens over Pride Rock. Look at them rock lights looking nice on there. If I get it lit up, it'll really look nice. Get the headlights and everything on it. And as you know, if I had not have done the fenders on the, well, if I could fix it, the Ultimate Hauler, where it could do the same thing as this one, but I would have to take the fenders off. And I don't want to take the fenders off. Alright, slow and easy, baby. You know, that's all Traxxas setup needs, is weight to it. You know, and that compensates for the herky-jerky, the crappy modulation of the electronics if you add weight to it, because the motor has a lot of power. And the Bronco, I think, needed a new motor. That's why it didn't... like the drag brake and all of that stuff didn't work on it, but on this one, and it probably weighs 5 pounds more than the Bronco, and it's dominating. you know. Other, minus my bad driving. All right, Rock, I'm gonna let you take over. Hold on a minute. We're gonna get a better angle here. All right, better angle, 1 over Pride Rock with the Track 6 Mercedes. Here we go. I'm gonna try to keep it in view because this is gonna be a nice run here. I have no doubt in my mind. Keep it in view, baby. Nice. Okay, I got a little excited there. Tires slipping a little bit. Oh, that was driver error there. Driver error. But still did nice. Because it's over. It's over. Wow. This vehicle is amazing. Just like all my others. I can't say it enough. Just like all my others. It's amazing. And it looks like it's the perfect width for metal to wood bridge. Just got to get it lined up. And we may have to back up a little bit after this, because this is a long vehicle. Tires grip, but they don't grip that good. And there are some great tires. You get more than what you pay for with these tires here. I can guarantee you that. Rock Tire, you get more than what you pay for. I don't know what they cost now because I haven't bought any in a while. Since I bought these. Amazing. That's all I can say. Amazing. Back tire's not grabbing. So we're going to back up. You gotta just crawl over those rocks there. Okay, we're gonna come in straight. It's amazing. This vehicle is amazing. And the little work that I put into it helps. We go to wood to metal to wood bridge, and then we're going to take it back around bedrock, and then we're going to call it. I didn't want this to be a night video, but it turned out to be, because I got to having so much fun. Isn't that what it's all about, folks? Having fun. Fun, fun, fun. Technology, since I started messing with remote controls, is just amazing. It is tenfold. Because the vehicles that I had 10 years ago would not do this at all. But at the same time, I did have some speedsters, but I don't think crawlers were popular back then when I first started buying. Look at that. Amazing. Track 6 Mercedes by Trax. It's amazing. But it definitely, even though I love this motor is performed like a champion, it needs a fusion. It needs a fusion, for sure. Alright, let me get my leg over here so I don't fall. Alright, this being a long vehicle, we're going to have to get a good line to come over Twin Peaks. You know what? Let's just go around Twin Peaks. I already know what this vehicle can do. It's a beast. Just like all my others. It's a beast. Beast from the east. Alright, we're catching on a rock there, so we gotta pick a good line here. Use them rock lights. And this vehicle here definitely needs a 2S, but it's still doing it. Course holding up like it should. It's the body grab. Oh Lord, turn up the course here. Needs that 3S in it. For this big of a vehicle, you definitely need a 3S in it. 3S battery for more power. Alright, we're gonna break out the work crew to do some repairs on on the course here. So this beast is tearing it up. Good job. Let's get a better angle. Alright, baby. If you're ready, I'm ready. Here we go. It definitely needs a 3S battery in it, for sure. And I think all I mostly have is 2S batteries. And I heard Crawler Canyon say, you know, if you're going to run these vehicles, you might as well, if they can handle 3S, put 3S in it. And I'm gonna have to say I agree. And a lot of it depends on the weight, and this is a heavy vehicle, and it would perform a lot better with a 3S in it. I know it would. My amateur mind knows it would. Alright, let's see what it does. And I've had the diffs on since who knows when. And it is performing like a champ, doing what it's supposed to do. All right, this is a difficult angle for the drag brake. Let's see how it does. I'm impressed. I'm impressed, Trax. Look at it. Jacked up in the air, no tires in the back, 6 wheels, no tires in the back touching the ground, and it is stopped at a decline. Nice. Very nice. And look at the articulation. Couldn't ask for more. I love this vehicle. Oh my God. And I haven't had this one out in forever. And then the rear entrance clearance is amazing. Nothing scraping in the back there for such a long wheelbase vehicle. It's doing its thing. Doing its thing. And the motor is just amazing. The power that this thing has just blows my mind. Yeah, baby. Do your thing. Now, if I had it all lit up with the headlights on, the fender lights on, the roof rack light on, just one little plug in. It looks good just like that. But you know what? We're probably going to take it in with all the lights on. Got to show them off. Definitely. This vehicle is a beast. For a 6-wheel, it performed like a freaking champ. And it doesn't need a Pro Fusion in it. It's fine just the way it is. Just the way it is. Alright, let's get her lit up properly. Uno momento. Okay, we're back, and I'm not going to be able to get her lit up the way she's supposed to be because of Traxxas setup, and I had it set up to where that wire stayed connected all the time. But when I took the body off too many times, it pulled that wire apart. So we'll do that another time. But as you know, it is an awesome vehicle. What I need to do is run an extension from the Traxxas ESC to get it lit up the way it's supposed to be. But it looks good just like that. But with the headlights on, fender lights, the roof rack light on, it's lit up. But we will get that done. Maybe tomorrow. May do a night run with it tomorrow, just because I know it's an awesome vehicle and it can light up and it has power. I'll have to say I'm impressed with Traxxas electronics. Very nice. The turning radius is not all that great, and I will mess with it a little bit tonight. Try to get everything straight. But like I always say, folks, much more to come, and take care of yourselves.